And as always, we begin with our breath. With each in-breath, with each inhale, imagine lengthening your spine. And with each exhale, feel the spine soften. We're sitting a little bit forward on the chair so we can have a little more contact with what our spine is doing. Allowing the jaw to be soft, perhaps a little smile on the face. Perhaps noticing with what your hands want to do automatically in this posture. And then begin to deepen the breath. Shake out the arms. Give the shoulders a nice infinity shrug in one direction. And then slow it down in the other. Let's bring our attention to our neck. And we begin by allowing the chin to come toward the notch in the collarbone. We're going to rotate a slow swing to the left, slow roll to the right. Just going back and forth, and make this slow, noticing any point at which there is tightening. And if there's tightening, allow breath and a pause to accompany that tightening. And then when it feels as if there's been some softening, continue the journey to the other side or to another point. Slow roll. And we're going to take our right ear toward our right shoulder now. This may be enough of a stretch here. If you'd like a little more, we're going to take that right hand and just rest it on the head near the left ear. We're not tugging, we're not pulling. We're just allowing the weight of the hand and the arm to traction that trapezius muscle just a little bit more. And maybe we try turning the nose down toward the armpit, pausing when we feel another tightening in a different area of the musculature. And keep rotating the head till the chin is coming somewhere near the shoulder. When we're there, we're going to release the hand if we're using it. And we're back to having our chin rest on the collarbone or near the collarbone. So let's do that slow crawl to the left side. And then we let the left ear wander toward the left shoulder. See if we can keep the right shoulder soft here. And if it feels okay, we're going to take that left hand toward the ear. And just let the weight of the arm and the hand create a sense of lengthening, tractioning. There's no rush here. And then slowly begin turning the nose a little bit toward the armpit, pausing as another section of the musculature tightens. No rush here. And then when we notice that that is softened, we continue with the nose turning down. And eventually, the chin comes to rest on the edge of the collarbone on the left side. The left hand drops. Slowly roll back to center. Bring one hand to the forehead, one hand to the chin, and use the hands to lift the head. Releasing the arms. Come back and for just a moment and look to the right and then to the left. So our necks get really tight, right? So this is a practice that can be done in just a couple of minutes when sitting watching a show and the commercial comes on. If you're not streaming, that's a perfect time to actually liberate the neck just a little bit. We're going to bring our hands to heart center. We're still sitting forward on the chair. We interlace the fingers, and then we're going to take the hands forward, and we're going to let our torso come toward our thighs. We're doing a nice long stretch. So we're pressing the hands forward. Let the head come between the shoulders, between the upper arms. So our eyes are naturally looking at the floor. Breathe here. And then on the next in-breath, we're going to take the hands to the ceiling, interlaced fingers. Now, if your shoulders aren't happy, we can pause right at shoulder height. If your shoulders are feeling happier, maybe a little higher, or maybe they're the happiest shoulders in the world and they want to come all the way up and the hands are pressing the ceiling away. Breathe here. One more breath. And then the arms float down and we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. So they're going to be down near the seat of the chair. Draw the arms down and lift the heart. Breathe here. So the chin is a little lifted, but the head is not toggled back. Maybe draw the shoulder blades a little closer together. Yeah, like that. Mhm. And then we release the hands and we come back to rest the hands on the knees. We're going to press into the knees, create our cat arch. So our shoulders are coming forward. We're finding that nice lengthening between the shoulder blades. And now let's use our knees by pressing the left knee forward. That's bringing the right shoulder forward for a little more of a stretch between the shoulder blades. Come back. And now the opposite knee presses forward. We're pressing our hands into the knees. That helps us to feel a little bit more. We're going to go right and left here. And notice, perhaps when we go to the right, the head's looking to the left just a little bit. And when we go to the left, the head looks to the right just a little bit. We're going to pause here. And then we slide the hands up to press into the top of the thighs. So if you've been in this room, studio working, this is very familiar. We're pressing the hands into the thighs. We lift the heart and we lift the chin and we find a nice stretch all the way into the pelvis. Breathing. Come back to center. Now we take our twist. We're taking that left hand to the outside of the right thigh. We're pressing into the left foot, lifting the heart, turning to the right. We're going to be here for a few breaths. So see if we can find a turn in the rib cage here, not just the waist. Come up to the ribs and see if that heart can turn just a little bit more. We're breathing here. We're pressing into the left foot. And maybe the hand is holding on to the back of the chair. And maybe the head's looking just a little bit over that right shoulder. Slowly begin to unwind this. We're back at center. Let's take that right hand to the outside of the left leg. We're going to press into the right foot. That lifts the heart, and we take the twist after we've lifted the heart. You can also lift the belly here. So this is another belly turning pose. And perhaps we're holding on to the back of the seat or the back of the chair, and maybe our head's looking over that left shoulder. Breathe here. Relax the jaw. And then we're gently going to make our way back to center. So we're going to do a flow pattern where we put all of those actions together. So we start with hands at heart center, breathe in and interlace the fingers. On the out breath, we press away. The in breath, we rise, hands toward the ceiling. The out breath, we release the hands. The next in breath, we lift the heart. Out breath brings us back to center. Breathe in. The next out breath takes us into a cat arch. The in breath takes us into a cow. The out breath takes us to the right. The in breath to center. And the out breath to the left. And we come back to center, bringing the hands to heart center, interlace the fingers, breathe in. And on the out breath, press away, lap, belly to lap, breathing out. And on the next in breath, to the sky. On the out breath, hands behind. On the in breath, lift the hands, lift the heart. On the out breath, hands to knees, cat arch. In breath, cow. Out breath to the right, we twist. In breath to center. Out breath, we twist to center. And we pause here. We're going to take ourselves to standing now. Bring one foot forward and one foot back. We're going to hinge forward to come to standing. Back to mountain pose. Taking the hands behind us, we're interlacing our fingers and we're lifting the arms away from the back any amount. Feet are parallel. We're going to tip to the right and look to the left. Breathe here. Back to center. Tip to the left and look to the right. Breathe here. Back to center. Pausing. Switch the interlacing of the fingers. That's a brain teaser, right? We're going to tip to the right and look to the left as we bring those hands a little bit away from our back or pelvis. Breathe here. Back to center. Breathe in. And take a tip to the right and a look to the left. And then we come back to center, release the hands, shake the arms out, circle the wrists one direction, then the other. Close fists, open hands, close fist, open hands, close fist, open hands. Let the knees be soft, and we're going to seaweed right and left. And now we're going to do some sit stands. So rather than sitting all the way down in the chair, we're going to step back so we know that the chair is there. Our hands come to heart center. They can be interlaced or in prayer. And we're going to sit, pretend sit and stand. Pretend sit and stand. Press into the feet to rise. Find the breath here. And one more. Release the hands. Roll the shoulders back. Take the shoulders forward. And now let's do some lunges. You can use the back of the chair. I'm going to recommend the top of the chair for balance, should you want to have a little support as we do this practice. We're going to start by stepping back with the right foot, and we're keeping the feet parallel to each other. You control how far back your back leg goes. And when I say parallel, we're not only parallel, but we're still hip width apart, so we're not on a tightrope. So we're going to step back with the foot. I got the right leg back. We're going to bend the left knee. And we want to make sure the kneecap is aiming toward the second and third toes. And we don't want it to wobble in and out. We want this to be very strong. Maybe you want to hold the back of the chair. The hands can rest also on the waist. We're going to rise up on the back foot. That straightens the front knee. And then we're going to slowly lower the back foot to the mat, bending the front knee. We're rising up on an in-breath and releasing on the out-breath. So we're going very slowly here. And if you have crabby knees, you can control how deep this lunge is. But this is important for knees because there is a lot of support in the knees when we can get the joint fluid, also called synovial fluid, moving. One more time. Then we're going to straighten the front leg. The back heel is on the ground. So arrange your body if you need to step forward a little with the back foot to get that heel on the ground. We're going to take our hands to the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. As we hinge forward, we're finding a nice stretch now in our hamstring. So bend the knee just a little bit if your hamstrings are super tight, or come to the highest point so that there's not so much noise in the hamstrings. Breathe here. And then bend that front knee, come onto the ball mound of the back foot, press that foot forward. Come to standing. And let's switch sides. So now the left leg's going back. And you may notice that the left leg doesn't want to go back as far as the right or vice versa. That's pretty common, right? So we start by lining up the kneecap with the second and third toe. We're going to make sure that knee doesn't toggle in. The knees like to move in when we're doing things that are strenuous. We're on the ball mound of the back foot. We rise up, straighten the front leg. So not only are we working our quadricep here, we're working the calf muscle on the back leg, right? We're also working the hip flexor on the back leg. And we're going up and down. That was a good balance challenge for me. A couple more times. Then we're going to pause and we're going to anchor both feet on the floor. Maybe step up just a little bit as we hinge forward. This is a straight leg. We're diving into the hamstring. The hands can be on the seat of the chair or on the top of the chair, depending on how deep this stretch is affecting that hamstring. One of the other things we've learned along the way with hamstrings is when we activate the quadriceps, the knee, the muscles above the knee, if we pull those up, it can allow the hamstring to have a little more stretch. And now to rise out of this, come onto the ball mound of the back foot. Step forward. We're back in mountain. Bring the hand to the back of the chair. You may not need it. I need it today. I'm going to take my right foot in front of my left. So they're touching, the feet are touching. I'm hinging forward. And I'm going to pause when I feel tightening in my IT band. So that's the one that runs from the hip joint to the knee. And chances are you're going to feel this in the back leg, not the front leg. Let the head release. We don't need to be looking at anything but our beautiful toes. And then to come up, soften the knees, switch legs. So now the left foot's in front as we hinge forward. Breathing here. And then to come out of this, we soften the knee, come back to mountain, sweep the arms up, fold just to the shins. One more breath here. And then we come back to standing hands to heart center. And we return to our chair. So come on, have a seat. We'll enter our time of Shavasana. So having the seat, settle here. Gently close the eyes. Sitting a little forward on the chair, we feel the lengthening of the spine on the inhale and the softening on the exhale. Today's thought is from John O'Donohue. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. Perhaps finding that smile again. We're going to open our arms wide, breathing deeply. We gather breath and all the blessings that already exist, and we draw them in appreciation and gratitude into our hearts. And together we all say, Namaste.